Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. My name is Sona, and we're about to do a beginner-friendly Vinyasa flow. I'm just gonna wait a few more minutes just to see if we can have a few more people that might join us tonight, and then we'll go ahead and get started. You can start by finding a comfortable position for yourself. You can be in a seated position, if that sounds good to you, or you could lay down, you could kneel, or you could even stand. Just take a few minutes here to allow yourself to arrive on your mat. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. So you begin to focus your attention inward. So you have all the many thoughts swirling around in your mind about the past, about the future. See if you can find your breath and be here now. And for the next hour, you have nowhere else to be and nothing else to do. So you allow yourself to settle down, settle in. I'm so grateful for all of you who are coming to join us tonight. Hello, everybody. It's so wonderful to have you all here tonight. I'm so grateful for you all taking the time to set some time aside to do a little yoga for yourself right now. So wonderful to have you all. I'm just gonna wait one more minute and then we'll go ahead and get started. You can begin to find a comfortable seated position. You can sit tall. You can find a slight tuck in your chin. So you feel the nice, cool air coming in through your nose as your lungs fill up with air. Exhale, release your breath back out at natural pace of breath. Alrighty, we can bring some movement to the breath now. So on your next inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead. As you reach up tall, exhale, release your palms down at the pace of your exhale. You can take 3 more of these at your own pace of breath. So you inhale, arms up, exhale, release. Nice fluid movements without stopping in any one spot. On your next inhale, you can reach your arms out and up, reach up tall, and this time exhale, fold forward. Bring those hands down in front of you. You can walk your fingertips out. You can tuck your chin. Take a nice round of breath. And then when you're ready, you can walk your hands back up, and then from here, switch the leg that you have in front. With your hands on your knees, we'll take a few seated cat-cow breaths. So on your next inhale, lean forward and look up. Exhale, round your spine back and tuck your chin. Inhale as you lean forward, shine your chest forward, look up. And exhale, round back. Nice. Warm up for your spine. You can take a few more of these at your own pace of breath as you inhale forward, exhale back. Nice fluid movements without stopping in any one spot. You can have nice movements that start in your low back and wind their way all the way up through your head. Alrighty, then you can come back to your neutral seated position. From here, we'll take one more fold. You can inhale your arms out and up, reach up tall. Exhale, fold forward gently. You can walk your fingers out and away. You can tuck your chin. Take a nice round of breath. And then you can walk your hands back up. From here, we'll take it to tabletop. Hands and knees. So your hands will come underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Spread your fingertips wide. Make sure your hands are parallel to each other, and then look down at the mat for a neutral neck. We'll do a few more cat-cows to warm up the spine. So on your next inhale, drop your belly, open up your chest and look up. Exhale, round your spine back and tuck your chin. Take a few more of these as you inhale, drop your belly, look up, look all the way up, stretch your eyeballs. Exhale, round back, tuck your chin. Take one more of these for good measure. You inhale up. Exhale, tuck your chin. And then you can return to a neutral tabletop. From here, we'll do our tiger pose. We'll warm up the core. So you can start by extending your right leg back. And then you can think about pushing your toes down into the mat. You squeeze your leg muscles here. You can stay right here, or you can lift your foot up so your foot is flying off the ground. You can flex your foot behind you. You can stay right here, or you have the option to extend your left arm out in front, your opposite arm. You find your length as if someone was pulling your hand and foot in opposite directions. Find your breath. Keep looking down. Keep breathing, and then you can release back down to tabletop. Whew. Good work. And now we'll do the other side. So from here, you can practice extending your left leg back. So you think about pushing your toes down into the mat, squeeze your leg, which can help strengthen your knee joint. You can stay right here if this is good, or you can lift your foot up off the ground so your foot is parallel, or your leg is parallel to the ground. You have the option to extend your right arm out this time, your opposite arm. You can find your length as if someone was pulling your hand and foot in opposite directions. Keep breathing, keep looking down. Alrighty, and you can release back down to tabletop. And from here, you can tuck your toes, begin to unbend your knees, for downward facing dog. You can always keep a generous bend in your knees, especially for your first down dog. You can bend one knee and then the other. Pedal it out. It's good to find some motion here in your first couple down dogs. So you walk your dog. Maybe notice your hands. Make sure your hands are parallel to each other. Fingertips spread wide. The top of your head should be traveling straight down. Maybe even look back at your knees. Find your breath. From here, you can bend your knees, look at the space in between your hands, and gently make your way all the way to a forward fold. We'll stay here for a few moments for our first fold. You can always bend your knees. You can nod your head, yes and no. Relax your neck. You can clasp opposite elbows for a ragdoll pose. You can sway side to side gently, which helps you stretch your thoracic spine or your mid-spine a little bit more. Alrighty. From here, you can find your halfway lift. So on your next inhale, maybe bring your hands to your shins. So you squeeze your shoulder blades together with a nice straight spine for your halfway lift. And then exhale, release, back down to fold for a moment. And now over the course of a few rounds of breath, you can slowly roll all the way up to standing. You can let your head be the last thing to come up. From here, you can step your feet hip-width distance apart. You can lift up all 10 toes, then place them back down. Find that even distribution of weight throughout both your feet. You find a nice micro bend in both of your knees. Then think about engaging your core. So lift up through your hips. So you stand up tall with an engaged core. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down for your mountain pose. So you find your breath here. Now we'll go through our flow. So on your next inhale, reach your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step it back to plank. We'll hold our plank for a little longer just for our first one if you want. So your hands will come underneath your shoulders. Your fingertips spread wide. If you're doing the full version of plank, you think about engaging your legs. So kick your heels back over your toes and then shine your chest forward. Or you can modify plank and come to your knees, which I recommend. So find your plank for a few more moments. Look down for a neutral neck. Keep breathing. And on your next exhale, we'll do our chaturanga, our tricep push-up. So on your next exhale, you can bend your elbows. So you lower all the way down to your tummy. You can release your feet. Inhale, baby cobra, or baby chest opener. So you lift your head and chest. You have the option to lift your heels or your fingers if you want. And then plant your hands, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. You can step your feet in about an inch if you want to, but totally don't have to. Then you can bend your knees, walk it out. And then we'll go through another version of that flow. So bend your knees, look at the space between your hands, and hop or step forward to a forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. Exhale, you can bring your hands down through heart center. And from here, we'll do a few shoulder rolls. So you can release your arms, and then you can bring your shoulders up, back, and down and around. So inhale, you bring your shoulders up. Exhale, back, down, and around. Up, back, and down. You can do a few more of these rotations. You can go both directions. Come up, forward, and down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Alrighty. And from here, we'll go through our flow. So you can inhale your arms out and up overhead. And exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. You can take a round of breath, and then on your next exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Elbows in. And then inhale, chest opener, whichever version you like to do. And then tuck your toes, plant your hands, downward facing dog. All right, from here you can bend your knees, look at the space between your hands, and hopper step forward to fold. You can inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. And you can release your arms down to your sides. We'll do one last warm-up stretch before we move on. We'll do our neck rolls. So from here, you can bring your chin down toward your chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, roll your head down to the side. So you bring your ear down toward your shoulder. Then inhale, back down through center. Exhale to the other side. You can inhale center, exhale sides. You can bring your hand to the side of your head to create more space in between your ear and your shoulder if you want to keep that tuck in your chin. Take a few more moments here. You can take any other motion that feels good for your head and neck. All right. And from here, we're going to take it back to a lunge position. So you can start by stepping your right leg back. From here, you can let your back heel come up off the mat, and then you can bend into your left knee as much as feels good. From here, think about squaring your hips as if you had headlights on each of your hip bones, and you want them to square forward. You can bend into that front knee as much as feels good. You can extend your arms up overhead, or you can bring your arms to your sides, either way. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can lift your left heel in front of you, but only if you want to. So you find your gazing point, your drishti, maybe something on the wall in front of you or the floor that's not moving, that you can gaze upon as you settle in here for a few more moments. From here, if you want, you have the option to include a quick power lunge to build some heat. So as you inhale, reach up tall. And then exhale, lunge over your thigh. Look down at your toes. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, you can rise back up to your crescent lunge. One last moment here. If you'd like, you have the option to find a chest opener for the full expression of crescent lunge. Only if you want to. You gently begin to open up your chest upward. Maybe let your arms come down to your sides. Keep breathing. Maybe look up. And then you can release. You can bring your arms down to your sides. Step your feet together. You can shake it out. Come to the top of your mat, and we'll go through our flow. You can meet us in down dog if you want to. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. And on your next exhale, you can lower down. Inhale, chest opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, you can let your left leg fly. So you can extend your left leg up behind you. See if you can keep your shoulders squared to the mat. Use your core. And then curl your knee into your chest. And then plant your left foot in between your hands. With a strong core, sweep your arms up. And now we are doing crescent lunge on the other side. So you settle in here. You can always scooch your back foot up closer or scooch it back further. You could always widen your front foot out wider, which I recommend. So you find your gazing point. Settle in for a few moments. If you want, you have the option to lift your left heel, but only if you want to. Alrighty, and then from here, you can release your arms and step your feet together and come to the top of your mat. Now, we will do this pose with your left foot back. So, you can step your left foot back to a crescent lunge position on this side. You can square your hips forward as if you had headlights on each of your hip bones. You can bring your arms up overhead or down to your sides, either way. You have the option to lift your right heel in front of you, but only if you want to. So you find that gazing point. And then if you want, you have the option to go for a quick power lunge. So on your next inhale, reach your arms up tall, and then exhale, lunge over your thigh, look down at your toes, keep breathing. Good work. And then you can release back up to standing. We'll do one last pose while we're here. If you want, you have the option to include a gentle chest opener, balance challenge. For the full expression of crescent lunge, you can open up your chest, maybe look up. Keep breathing. And then you can return to your crescent lunge for a moment. Last good moment here. And then you can release your arms down to your sides. You can step your feet together and come to the top of your mat. Good work. You can shake it out. You can go side to side. And then we'll go through our flow. You can meet us in down dog or come along with me. You inhale, your arms out and up overhead. You can do a gentle back bend if you want. And then exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. And on your next exhale, lower down. Inhale, chest opener with shoulders relaxed down. And then exhale, downward facing dog. You can walk it out, bend one knee and then the other. All right, then you can look at the space in between your hands, bend your knees, and walk or hop forward to forward fold. Then inhale, reverse swan dive up to standing. And then release your arms down to your sides. From here, we'll take a wide-legged position. So you can step both of your feet wide. Make sure that your feet are parallel with each other. Make sure that your knees feel okay. You can bring your toes in and your heels out like you're pigeon-toed just a little bit. You find a micro bend in your knees. And then we'll take a fold. So you inhale your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, fold gently with control. You can nod your head, yes and no. You can always keep a bend in your knees. So you find your breath. Alrighty, bend your knees, place your hands on your hips, and with a straight back, rise up. Now we'll do our warrior two sequence. So you can start by pivoting your left toes out 90 degrees. So you bend into your left knee. Then you can open up your arms wide. And look over your fingers. So you settle in here. So you think about engaging your core, so you're lifting up with a strong core. Sometimes when we're tired, like lean forward and squish into this front hip. Instead, see if you can stand up straight tall. So from the hips up, you're standing up straight tall with your head stacked right over your shoulders, right over your hips. You can always flip your palms up for a more shoulder-friendly version. From here, you can bend your left elbow, place it on your left thigh, reach that right arm up and over. Maybe look up, if that's okay for your neck. You can extend both arms out if you want to use more core. You can do an arm bind. You can reach for the full expression of extended side angle. Alrighty, and you can inhale back up through center, and this time, slide your right hand down your right leg. Reach that left arm up and over. So you keep that bend in that left knee. Maybe look up. Keep breathing. Alrighty, then you can return to your warrior two for a moment. You can straighten that left leg in front of you. We'll do our triangle pose. So you lean forward, pivot at the hips, maybe find your ankle or your shin with your hand. Maybe look up if that's okay for you. So So you find your breath here in this side stretch, this inner thigh stretch. Keep breathing. And then you can bend back into that front knee and return to your warrior two for a moment. Then you can release your arms down to your sides. You can pivot your toes back in so they're parallel, and we'll take a fold in between. So on your next inhale, you can reach your arms out and up overhead as you reach up tall, and then exhale, fold gently. You can nod your head yes and no. You can always keep a bend in your knees. Alrighty. You can bend your knees, place your hands on your hips, and with a straight back, rise up. Now we'll do our warrior two on the other side. So you'll pivot your right toes out this time. Opposite side. So you bend into your front knee, and then look over your right fingers. You can always flip your palms up for a more shoulder-friendly version. You settle in here. Find your breath, engage your core so your shoulders are stacked right over your hips. Now we'll do our side stretches. So you bend your right elbow, place it on your right thigh, reach that left arm up and over. Maybe look up. You can do any variation that you like. You can extend both arms out. You can do an arm bind. Whatever you like to do. Find your breath. Alrighty. Inhale, rise back up to center. And then you can gently slide your left hand down your left leg. So you reach that right arm up and over. Maybe look up. As you keep that bend in that right knee. You can do any variation that you like. Keep breathing. Alrighty. You can come back to center. You can release your arms, and then you can straighten your right leg in front of you. We'll do our pyramid pose on this side. So you can lean forward, pivot at the hips, and maybe find your shin or your ankle with your hand. Maybe look up. Do you find your breath? Alrighty. When you're ready, you can rise back up. One last good moment here, warrior two. And then you can bring your arms back in. You can pivot your toes. We'll take one last fold. You have the option to include a shoulder stretch if you want to by clasping opposite elbows or your hands together behind your back. Or you can do normal arms. Either way is fine. Alrighty. When you're ready, inhale, reach up tall through your spine. Exhale, fold gently. You can find a gentle shoulder stretch. You can nod your head, yes and no. You can have a nice good bend in your knees for this one. Keep breathing. Alrighty, then you can gently bring your hands back to your low back as you rise back up to standing. You can bring your feet together and come to the top of your mat. We'll finish up our standing up portion with our balance pose. We'll do our tree pose. So you can start by bringing your weight and your grounding into your right foot. You can kickstand your ankle, your left ankle against, or your heel against your ankle, sorry. Then you can stay right here if this is good. Or maybe find your calf with your foot. You think about squeezing your foot and your leg together. You can stay right here, or maybe find your inner thigh or half lotus. So you think about reaching up with a strong core. You can bring your arms up overhead if you want to, reaching up like a tree. You find your breath, find that gazing point. And then when you're ready, you can release your arms back down, you can bring your foot back down, you can shake it out, and we'll practice our tree pose on the other side. So you can bring all of your weight and grounding into your left leg this time. So you kickstand your right heel against your ankle. You can stay right here if this is good, or you can find another variation if you want to find your calf or your inner thigh or half lotus. Find your tree pose on this side, whatever feels good for you. So you think about reaching up tall with a strong core. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can close your eyes. Alrighty, when you're ready, you can release your arms back down. You can release your foot back down. You can shake it out. You can go side to side. And then you can come to the top of your mat and you can go through your flow. You can meet us in down dog if you want to. So you inhale your arms out and up overhead. Find a gentle back bend if you want. And then exhale, swan dive down to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank. And on your next exhale, lower down. Inhale, chest opener. And exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe step your feet in about an inch. You can pedal it out, walk it out. All right, from here, you can let your right leg fly. So you extend your right leg behind you. Then you can curl your knee into your chest, and we're gonna do pigeon pose. So bring your whole knee down in between your hands. So your knee is facing in front of you, pointing straight in front, and then your foot can come to the side by your hip. The closer in your foot, the more beginner friendly, and the further away your foot, the more deep of a stretch. So you can bring that foot in, then you can lengthen your left leg down long behind you. You can stay right here, or you have the option to gently lower your head and chest down over your knee. We'll stay here for about 8 rounds of breath for our deep hip opener of the night. And if this is too much pressure for your knee, you can also do this pose while lying on your back, like this. You find your breath here in this deep stretch. Use your breath here. You imagine your body like a sack of potatoes, like dead weight. Like the only thing holding you up right now is the ground. Alrighty. You can begin to come back up to your hands. You can walk your hands back underneath your shoulders for a moment. Find your height. You can think about pushing that bottom foot down. Maybe find balance. And then you can frame your knee with your hands. Tuck your left toes behind you and gently return to your downward facing dog. You can do a counter stretch by lifting your right leg back up again a couple times, and you can always shake it out, pedal it out, bend one knee and then the other. And then we'll do that on the other side. So from here, you can let your left leg fly. Then you can curl your knee into your chest and lower your knee in between your hands. And you can extend your right leg long behind you. You can find a good spot for your left foot. The closer in, the more beginner friendly, and the further away, the more advanced, or the more deep of a stretch. From here, you can find a good spot to stay. You can lower down. You can make a little pillow with your hands. And we'll stay here for about 8 rounds of breath. And if this is too much pressure for your knee, you can also do this pose while lying on your back. So find your breath here. Alrighty. When you're ready, you can begin to release. You can come back up to your hands. You can walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Maybe find your balance or your height. And then you can frame your knee with your hands, tuck your toes behind you, and return to your downward dog. You can do a counter stretch by lifting your left leg back up again a couple times. And then you can always pedal it out, walk it out. As you enjoy the last moments of downward dog for tonight's practice, maybe give your knees a nice, deep, generous bend. Maybe see if you could even touch your ribs to your thighs, stretch your shoulders, look down. Alrighty, then you can drop your knees down to the mat, find your child's pose. So you can bring your hips to your heels, and then your forehead down. You have the option to include a tricep stretch from here if you want to, by bringing both of your hands together and then bring your hands to the back of your neck. You reach out long through your elbows. Alrighty. You can begin to release. So you walk those hands back up. And from here you can find yourself in a seated position. You can extend both of your feet down long in front of you. You can wobble out your knees a little bit. You can point and flex your toes. Do a few ankle circles. Both directions. Alrighty, then you can flex both of your feet. Plant your hands down to either of your sides. So you sit tall, find your breath for your staff pose. It's actually quite an active pose, sitting in staff. Alrighty, we'll take our fold. So you inhale, your arms out and up overhead, reach up tall. And then exhale, fold gently with control. You can do whatever feels good with your hands. Maybe tuck your chin. Then you can begin to release. We'll do our twists. So you can plant your right foot, bend your right knee. So you sit tall, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. Plant your right hand behind you and look over your right shoulder. So you keep breathing. Keep your core engaged the whole time to protect your spine. Alrighty, then you can release back through center. You can take a quick counter stretch to the other side. And then you can extend both of your legs down long. We'll take a fold in between. When you're ready, inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, fold gently. You can intentionally bend your knees while you're here in this fold as you tuck your chin, and it can help you stretch your spine because a lot of the times when we do fold, it's dominated by our hammies. Alrighty, and you can rise back up. We'll do our twist on the other side. So this time you can plant your left foot, bend your left knee, take an inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist to the left. So you plant your left hand behind you and look over your left shoulder. So you practice keeping your core engaged as you inhale and as you exhale the whole time. Keep squeezing your abs. Keep breathing. Alrighty, then you can come back through center. You can take a quick, gentle counter stretch to the other side. And then you can extend both of your legs down long. We'll take one last fold down the middle. When you're ready, inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, fold. You can tuck your chin. You can bend your knees. You can point your toes. Whatever variation you might like in your fold. Alrighty, and from here you can release back up, and we'll bring both of your feet together and your knees wide for a bound angle or butterfly pose. You can hold on to your ankles and sit tall. You can give yourself a little foot rub, give yourself a little foot massage if you want to. From here you can take a fold. If you want, you can think about inhales, you lengthen your spine up, and then exhale, fold forward if you want to. You can walk those fingertips out and away. And your feet don't have to be as close in as they can get. You can find a middle ground or a diamond shape, which helps you stretch your IT band or low back. So wherever your feet want to be tonight, you can bring your hands underneath your ankles. And create an anchor for yourself to pull down if you want. And then from here, we'll do a chest opener. So you can release and come back up. And this time, think about opening up your chest. You can walk your hands behind you with your fingertips pointing away. So you gently take an inhale, open up your chest, maybe open up your face and your neck as you look up. You have the option to find a balance pose from here if you want, to balance on your feet and your hands. As you inhale, lift your glutes and your core. Look up, keep breathing. And then you can release back down to your seated position. You can release your hands, you can release your feet. And from here, you can bend both knees, plant both feet. Nice V shape with your body here. We'll do a little bit of core. So from here, we'll do boat pose. You can have a nice straight spine with a strong engaged core. From here, lean back just a little bit until you feel your core start to fire up. And then you can stay right here. Keep breathing. You have the option to lift your shins and your feet up parallel to the ground. Maintain that nice straight spine. You have the option to release your hands. Keep breathing. Find a good spot for yourself for a few moments. Good work. And then you can bring your hands back to your knees. You can lower yourself down to your back. You can hug your knees into your chest. You can move your knees back and forth like you're crawling, which helps you release the low back. You can also move your knees in little opposite circles from each other. All right, from here, you can find your inversion, your candlestick pose. So you extend both of your legs straight up. You can hold onto your knees for support. You can point and flex your feet. You can do some ankle circles in both directions. You can do wide legs. It's just good for us to put our feet above our hearts sometimes. Let all that circulation come down into your core. For one more moment here. Alrighty, then you can gently release as you hug your knees to your chest. From here, we'll do our figure 4 hip stretch. So you can bring your right ankle to your left thigh as you make a figure 4 with your legs. So you reach your hands through to the back of your left thigh and gently pull your left knee down toward your chest. You can make it a more active stretch if you want to straighten your left leg or lift your head and chest, but only if you want to. So breathe into your hips one last good moment, pull that knee down, and then you can release. And we'll switch. Left ankle to your right thigh. So you reach your hands through to the back of your right thigh. Pull your right knee down toward your chest. You can make it a more active stretch if you want to. So you find your breath here. Alrighty, then you can release as you hug your knees to your chest. From here, we'll do our happy baby pose as you hold on to the bottoms of your feet from the outside edges of your feet. You pull your feet down so your knees are traveling down toward your armpits or toward the sides of your body. Then you can rock side to side gently. You can bring both of your feet together, your knees wide for a reclined bound angle. You can hold onto your heels from the bottom. You can touch your feet to your head for a yoga trick, and then you can release. We'll take one last pose. We'll do our twist. So from here, you can hold on to your right knee and extend your left leg down long. Squeeze your right knee toward your right armpit. Give that side a little extra love. And then you can release. So find a normal, neutral bend for your knee here. And then guide your knee across your body all the way down to the left. Then maybe look to the right. So you breathe into this twist. You can make it a deeper twist if you want to straighten your right leg for a moment. Alrighty. Then you can come back to center. So you hug your knees to your chest. Then we'll switch. So this time you can hold onto your left knee. Extend your right leg down long. So you squeeze your left knee in toward your left armpit. Give that side a little extra love. Alrighty, then you can find a normal, neutral bend for your knee. We'll take our twist as you guide your knee across your body, down to the right. And maybe look to the left. You can straighten your left leg for a deeper twist. You breathe into this twist. Alrighty. From here, you can begin to release. So you hug your knees to your chest. Feel free to take any other pose that you might like to take tonight. And then you can begin to straighten your legs down long and wide. We'll take a 2-minute Shavasana, and I can let you know when it's time to come back. You can extend both of your arms down long to either side. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You can breathe in, think about breathing in light and love and peace and happiness. Exhale the bullshit. Exhale anything you do not need. You take a few more moments to allow yourself to absorb all the benefits from tonight's practice for yourself. You think about all the amazing things your body just did and can do for you. You'll hold some gratitude for taking the time for yourself to do this. Just take it all in. You can breathe in for a count of 4 and exhale for 3 or 4. Alrighty. You can wiggle your fingers or your toes. You can stretch your arms. You can roll to your side for the fetal position. And then you can make your way all the way back up to a comfortable seated position. You can sit tall, but remain relaxed. You have the option to bring your hands to heart center for a moment. You take a nice round of breath and notice how you feel right now. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and sharing your time, your energy with me. It was so wonderful to have you. My soul honors each of your souls. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. It was so wonderful to have you all. I will take you off mute. Some of you have asked about Venmo, and if you're interested in donating toward my yoga class, you can find me on Venmo, but absolutely no worries whatsoever. And I'm so great to have you all. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
You.
Yep. It was so wonderful. I love you all. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Kathy. I miss you guys. I hope you all are doing well. Weathering this wacky, weird time with as much resilience as you can with each day. And you just take it day by day, and that's all you can do. And we're all in this together. I really appreciate all of you. I will also post this video on YouTube. If you guys are interested in the YouTube, I can get that to you too.
Yes, be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night. Drink lots of water. Go to bed early if you can, and just take care, whatever that looks like for you tonight.
Thank you so much. Tell Dane and I said hi.
I will. Aw, thanks, guys. I will stop recording.